What if one of your best, most impressive business metrics was actually hiding your biggest risk? It sounds completely backward, I know, but a high customer retention rate, well, it can sometimes be a really dangerous illusion. So let's get into the story of a bank that thought it had it all figured out, but was actually sitting on a ticking time bomb. So picture this. There's this successful regional bank, and they are celebrating a 90% retention rate for their commercial clients. I mean, on the surface, that number looks incredible, right? It just screams loyalty, stability, success. It's the kind of number that makes everyone feel safe and gets people promoted. But, a few smart folks on the strategy team had this nagging feeling. Was this genuine, die-hard loyalty? Or was there something else going on? Something that was just keeping those clients from leaving? And that one single question, it was about to change everything for them. To get to the bottom of it, they first had to admit that their usual methods just weren't cutting it. They had to get past the what was happening and find the real why behind what their clients were doing. I mean, their traditional surveys seemed to back up all the good news. A whopping 85% of their clients said they were satisfied. But then this consultant comes in, right? And they look at this number and think, something's not right here. Because satisfaction scores, well, they often don't tell you the whole story. And in this case, they were hiding a massive vulnerability. Okay, so look at why their old tools were basically dead ends. The problem with focus groups? Way too slow, super expensive, and honestly, people often just say what they think you want to hear. And surveys? Well, they already had those, and they only showed what people felt, not why they felt it. As for churn analysis, that's like driving by looking in the rearview mirror. It only tells you about the people who already left, not the ones who are thinking about it. They needed a whole new tool to see the future. And that new tool, it required a complete shift in thinking. Instead of asking people what they would do, the plan was to use a new kind of technology that could actually simulate what they do when faced with real choices. And this is where Atypica.ai enters the story. The best way to think of it is like an AI detective. It's a platform built specifically to get past the fluff people say in surveys and uncover the real reasons for their behavior by putting simulated customers through all kinds of tests. And I mean, just look at this comparison. It is absolutely night and day. The old way would have taken 6 to 8 weeks and cost them 25 grand or more just to hear what people say they do. The new way, 20 minutes for about $100, and it measures what they actually do. The difference is just staggering. All right, so how does this AI detective actually pull it off? Let's walk through the investigation step by step and see exactly how the consultant cracked this case wide open. Okay, so the process is actually pretty slick. First, in something called plan mode, the AI helps you get super clear on what you're trying to figure out. Then, a scout agent goes out and observes real online conversations to really understand the customer's world. From there, it builds these incredibly accurate AI personas. These are like AI models of your customers that are trained to think and act just like them. Next, the platform interviews 25 of these personas all at the same time. And boom, the final analysis and report lands on your desk in about 20 minutes. It's just a whole different ballgame. And inside that AI interview, that's really where the magic happens. This is not some rigid, boring survey. No, it's throwing curveballs at these AI personas, like what if a competitor suddenly offers lower fees? Or what if there's a big service disruption? The AI asks smart, conversational follow-up questions just like a real person would, and it does all of this for 25 different people at the exact same time. So, the AI investigation is done. The virtual interviews are complete. And now, for the big reveal. This is the moment they finally uncovered the truth that was hiding right there in plain sight. Okay, remember this? This was the bank's world. A simple, happy picture where 85% of their clients were satisfied. It's clean, it's easy, it's reassuring, and as they were about to find out, it was completely wrong. And then, bam, this is the reality that Atypical uncovered. It turns out only 20% of their clients were truly satisfied. A full 35% were just staying out of habit, which is a pretty shaky foundation. And the biggest group, a massive 45%, felt completely trapped. They weren't loyal, they just felt like switching was too much of a pain. This doesn't just change the chart, it changes the entire story. So let's put some faces to these numbers, right? The truly satisfied clients, these are your champions. They feel a real, emotional connection. They say things just like this. These are the customers you can actually build a business on. Then you've got the habitual clients. Their loyalty is totally passive. They're not unhappy, but they're not really engaged either. They're just coasting on autopilot. And as we all know, an autopilot can be switched off pretty easily by a competitor who comes along with a slightly better offer. And here it is, the ticking time bomb. Nearly half of their entire client base felt stuck. They're not loyal customers, they're prisoners. They're frustrated, and you can bet they are quietly looking for an escape route. Any competitor that figures out how to make switching easy could steal them away literally overnight. So, armed with this incredible new clarity, this multi-layered understanding of their customers, the bank could finally make a smart, strategic decision about a huge $3 million investment they were about to make. I mean, think about it. Before this, they were flying blind. They were ready to spend millions on broad satisfaction programs that would have completely missed the real issues for 80% of their clients. Now, they had a precise GPS telling them exactly where to invest their money for the biggest possible impact. And this is the brilliant part. They didn't just have one generic strategy. They had three, one for each group. For the truly satisfied, they doubled down on reinforcing that great relationship. For the habitual clients, they launched campaigns to get them more engaged and turn them into real fans. And most importantly, they invested the biggest chunk of money into fixing the root causes, the fees, the bad APIs that made nearly half their clients feel so trapped. So, did it work? Oh yeah, it worked. In just 18 months, their retention actually went up from 90 to 94%. Their cost to get new customers dropped by 30%. Because their happy clients were now doing the selling for them. And the revenue they made from each client grew by 12%. It was a total home run. So when you boil it all down, what's the big lesson here? It's that surface-level data can really fool you. Understanding the deep, often hidden why behind what your customers do, well, that's the only way to build a truly winning strategy. It's the difference between gambling and making a calculated investment. And that really just leaves one last question for you to think about. When you look at your own business, your own brand, how many of what you call loyal customers are genuinely loyal and how many are just trapped, waiting for a competitor to finally show them an easy way out?